Learning hand-to-hand combat is just like building a house. You have to start with the foundation. And the foundation is the most fundamental part. The ground is the most fundamental part. Um, Ground fighting is the most fundamental kind of fighting to learn. And that is for two reasons. Um, no, I take that back. It's for one reason. The reason why fighting on the ground is the most important thing to know is because when you are on the ground, you are in the most danger. You are most close to death when your ass is on the ground fighting with someone in a real fight. And that's the truth. Not only because you have less control over where you could go in your range of motion, but also because you are open to attacks from anybody that might be around. You might think you're just fighting this guy, but when you get on the ground, other people can close in around and fuck you up. So it's important to know that not only do you have to be best at fighting on the ground, but when you're in a real fight out in the real world, you have to avoid getting on the ground like a motherfucker because when you do, you are closest to death, bro. You are closest to losing your shit. You are closest to getting injured permanently for the rest of your life. The ground is the most dangerous place to be, and that's why you have to do two things. You have to be the best at it, and out there in the street, out there in the field, you have to avoid it like the fucking plague, man, because it will be your end. I used to participate in deadly force training classes, and I never seen a guy get so upset as when he's ground fighting with his gun belt on and the teacher takes his gun out of his holster and puts it to his own head before he even realizes it. You cops, you security guards, you guys out there that are bouncing, don't get on the ground. And if you are on the ground, be ready to fight to the death because that's what it's about. So, some of you that know about my history at the chart room know that when I quit there, I started anger management classes. In retrospect, the best anger management classes I ever had was when I was a kid and I was in judo. And judo will cancel out a lot of addictions that you could have had, a lot of trouble you could have been in. Participating in martial arts is good for people, but I'm just going to go ahead and be a soldier about it and let you know that judo and boxing are the best, or wrestling, whatever. Fighting sciences, in my opinion, are the best as opposed to martial arts because it's not so much theoretical, it's more hands on. You know what I mean? I can learn a lot more from being in 50 fights than I can from learning 50 different techniques. You understand? I might win 50 fights with the same technique. It doesn't matter as long as you win and don't let anybody tell you anything different. Um, so anyway, Sarah got me a new anger management partner. This is Mayuki. His name's Dickhead. He's kind of, I don't know what you call this thing. It's kind of like an upside down speedball. I had to speedball, speed bag, whatever you call it. I'm not a boxer, I'm a wrestler, boys. Just work with me here. I'm also going to let you know I'm not a black belt or nothing like that. But it just so happens that your boy Crow has been trained by two groups of people that I'm going to let you in on. One is um, the baddest ass personal protection officer, Secret Service officers in this country. Your boy here has fought them and studied with them and probably could kick their ass. And the reason is because they have the same teachers that I had, and that is basically a group of alternates and hardcore judo players that are, many of them are nationally ranked. It doesn't have nothing to do with me though. I'm just giving you a sense of accountability so that you know that things I'm telling you aren't coming out of my butt. That they're coming out of a real place of knowledge and from a real source that you may or may not know about. My problem is that I got addicted to combat when I was young. I got addicted to judo, and I had a good judo sensei that never, ever, ever, honestly, he never, ever, ever made me pay a dime for judo class. And that fucked me up when I got out in the real world because every fucking judo class out there is going to want $65 a month plus whatever you got to pay for your fucking gi. And when you're out here trying to feed yourself, it doesn't always make the most sense. So I'm going to go through some training things for you guys so you guys can train by yourself. I mean, girls too, whatever, but you can train by yourself for free, man. And it doesn't have to be with the upside down. It doesn't have to be with Dickhead here. You can find a friend. You can, one of my teachers, Tony Banks, he had a pole that was stuck in the ground in concrete with a piece of rope tied to it, and he practiced on that motherfucker every day. You don't need a partner. You don't need $65. You don't need a gi. You just need to have the frame of mind to want to learn and to want to improve yourself and to want to be prepared when you really get into some shit out there. If you're never going to leave the house and you're going to stay home and get stoned the rest of your life and you don't think you're ever going to get in another motherfucking fight, good luck to you, bro. But the rest of us out here in the real world have got to fucking scrap for what we got, man. And so I'm going to show you guys how to get her done.